Alright, y'all, so I'm back with another Bible reading. I'm on Numbers 29 to Numbers 31, page 142 to 143. Let's see what time it is. It's like 1:37, so I got it here pretty early. I wanted to come out here a little bit sooner, but I just kind of laid in my bed for a minute, so that's my fault. But I'm getting a little bit better on, waking up a little bit earlier, so I'm going to keep trying to do that. Again, I'm trying to get as far away from lust as I can, but it's hard for me. And I'm honestly considering about getting rid of my phone just so I can make it a little bit easier, but I kind of need my phone to text my homies and to text, everybody else. So I don't know. I'm going to try to figure that out. But I'm getting a little bit better at it, honestly. I'm getting like a little bit better. For a while there, I was going without it for a long time. I was going like weeks without it, but now I've kind of slipped back into it a little bit. But again, I'm going to keep fighting. I'm hoping tonight I can do a little bit better. This morning I did better with it, so we'll just see what happens, But I'm going to start on my Bible right now. And honestly, I feel a lot better being able to be honest about what I'm going through, because before I started believing in God and before I really started trying to go into my faith, I didn't really want to tell people about anything. Like, I wanted to keep it all to myself, and that was like really hurting me. So now being able to open up about it to a lot of my friends and family, it feels a lot better, It feels a lot easier to do. So I'm happy about that. But I'm going to start on page 142, go to 143, and then that'll be all for today. But I'm hoping I'll make a gaming video. I just don't really know what to record. Maybe like a Mortal Kombat one, but, who knows. Are sacrifices which the Lord will appreciate and enjoy. A grain offering of 9 quarts of fine flour mingled with oil shall be offered with the bull, 6 quarts with the ram, and 3 quarts with each of the 7 lambs. In addition, there shall be a male goat sacrificed as a sin offering to make atonement for you. These special sacrifices are in addition to the regular monthly burnt offerings for that day, and also in addition to the regular daily burnt offerings, which are to be offered with a respective grain offering and drink offering, as specified in the ordinance governing them. 10 days later, another conviction of all the people shall be held. This will be a day of solemn humility before the Lord, and no work of any kind may be done on that day. A bee just landed right next to me. Okay. May be done on that day. You shall offer a burnt sacrifice to the Lord. It will be very pleasant to him. Of 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 yearling lambs, male lambs, each without defect, and their accompanying grain offerings, 9 quarts of fine flour mingled or mixed with oil, to be offered with a bull, 6 with the ram, and 3 with each of the 7 lambs. You are also to sacrifice 1 male goat for a sin offering. This is in addition to the to the offering of the Day of Atonement, offered annually on that day, and in addition to the regular daily burnt sacrifices, grain of fearing, and drink offerings. Offerings, not off-fearings, sorry. 5 days later there shall be yet another assembly, one of all the people, and on that day no hard work shall be done. It is the beginning of the 7-day festival before the Lord. Your special burnt offerings or burnt sacrifices that day, which will give much pleasure to the Lord, shall be 13 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male yearling lambs, each without defect, accompanied by the usual grain offerings, 9 quarts of fine flour mingled with oil for each of the 13 young bulls, 6 quarts for each of the 2 rams, and 3 quarts for each of the 14 lambs. There must also be a male goat sacrificed for a sin offering, in addition to the regular daily burnt offerings with its accompanying grain offerings and drink offerings. On that second day, I didn't wear my bug spray, so a lot of bugs are coming up to me, so I'm going to have to keep kind of pushing those off. On the second day of the 7-day festival, you shall sacrifice 12 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male yearling lambs, each without defect, accompanied by the usual grain offerings and drink offerings. Also, in addition to the regular daily burnt sacrifice, you are to sacrifice a male goat with its accompanying grain offering and drink offering for a sin offering. On the third day of the festival, offer 11 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 male yearling lambs, each without defect, and the usual grain offering and drink offering with each sacrifice. And in addition to the regular daily burnt sacrifice, sacrifice a male goat for a sin offering with its accompanying grain offerings and drink offering. On the 4th day of the festival, you are to sacrifice 10 bulls. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of gonna skip these pages because it's more of the same thing, and I'm kind of getting, like, I'm not bored of the Bible itself, I'm just kind of bored of hearing the same sentence over and over, just sacrificing the bulls and it's, because, again, we don't really have to do any of this, I don't think, so I'm not really trying to, I don't want to keep wasting a video on just saying the same lines over and over again, so let me see where else we're at. I basically read, so I'm just going to read this other page and then we'll be done for today, and tomorrow I'm going to kind of skip to where, there's actually more stuff in the Bible happening, and it's not just the same, we're going to sacrifice 7 lambs, and, because I'm not getting bored of the Bible, but I'm getting bored of reading the same phrases over and over again, so... regular daily sacrifices on the 8th day, summon the people to another solemn assembly. You must do no hard work on that day. Sacrifice a burnt offering. They are very pleasant to the Lord. Of 1 young bull, yeah, same thing. So Moses gave all these instructions to the people of Israel. Now Moses summoned the leaders of the tribes and told them, the Lord has commanded that when anyone makes a promise to the Lord, either to do something or to quit doing something, that vow must not be broken. The person making that vow must do exactly as he has promised. If a woman promises the Lord to do or not do something, and she is still a girl at her home in her father's home, and her father hears that she has made this vow with penalties, but says nothing, then her vow shall stand. But if her father refuses to let her make the vow, or feel that the penalties she has agreed to are too harsh, then her promise will automatically become invalid. Her father must state in his disagreement on the first day he hears about it, and then Jehovah will forgive her, because her father would not let her do it. If she takes a vow or makes a foolish plague, and later marries, and her husband learns of her vow and says nothing on the day he hears it, her vow shall stand. But if her husband refused to accept her vow on the foolish pledge, his disagreement makes it void, and Jehovah will forgive her. But if the woman is a widow or is divorced, she must fulfill her vow. If she is married and living in her husband's home when she makes this vow, and her husband hears of it and does nothing, the vow shall stand. But if she refuses to allow it on the first day, hears of it, her vow is void, and Jehovah will forgive her. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Take vengeance on the Midianites for leading you into idolatry, and then you must die." Dang. Moses said to the people, "Some of you must take arms to wage Jehovah's war for each tribe." So this was done, and out of many thousands of Israel's 12,000 armed men were sent to battle by Moses. Piphileus, son of Eleazar the priest, led them into battle, accompanied by the ark, with trumpets blaring, and every man of Midian was killed in battle. Among those killed were all 5 of the Midianite kings, Evi-Rekem, Zor, Hur, and Reba. Balaam, son of Beor, was also killed. Then the Israel army took as captives all the women and children, and seized the cattle and flocks and a lot of treasure, I think. I'm not too sure. All of the cities and towns and villages and Midianite or Midian, I don't know, were then burned. The captives and their spoils of war were brought to Moses and Eleazar the priest, and to the rest of the people of Israel who were camped out of the plains, on the plains of Moab, besides the Jordan River, across from Jericho. Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the leaders of the people went out to meet the victorious army, but Moses was very angry with the army officers and Bethuel leaders. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna kind of skip some of this because this is all just kind of the same thing, and I've been reading this thing for a minute, so I just kind of want to skip because it's just kind of more the same thing every day. So I want to read something a little bit new, and I don't think it really matters too much because this is all just old stories from the Old Testament, so I don't think it's that much of a big deal. I hope not, but